Okay, so what if everything we thought we knew about reality ourselves, even things like illness and death,
Huh.
what if it's based on something fundamentally different, like maybe even a hidden flaw?
Yeah, kind of cosmic mistake right at the origin. And what if the key to understanding that, and maybe healing and figuring out who am I, what if it lies in connecting with that huge emptiness we're usually taught to fear?
That void.
Exactly. An emptiness that, according to the source we're looking at, is actually the source of, well, everything.
Okay, let's definitely unpack this. This deep dive is based on a really fascinating conversation transcript you shared with us. It's with a spiritual teacher, Matias De Stefano.
Right. He's known as a multidimensional explorer, and he has this way of taking these massive, like, cosmic ideas and making them feel surprisingly grounded, relevant even.
Yeah, he does. So our mission here is to navigate through some of these concepts Matthias presents. They can be pretty dense, Ideas about the void, ego, spiritual awakening.
The energetic basis of life, healing, all of it. We're basically trying to pull out the key insights, understand this unique perspective, and see what it might mean for, our own path.
For your path.
We're going to cover some really thought-provoking ground. This idea of a hidden flaw at the origin, the real nature of the void, that big question, who am I?
And also how letting go, even embracing aspects of dying while we're alive, can be transformative.
Right. And looking at illness as blocked energy, this three-step healing approach he talks about, and even what happens energetically when someone dies.
He paints this picture of us being in Earth school.
Yeah, like we're here to learn, but maybe miss the first day. It's fascinating. So this is the Presence Podcast, and today we're taking you, our listeners, on this deep dive with us.
And as we go, I'll help connect the dots, explore maybe the deeper implications for you, while you highlight the key points and stories Matthias shares. Okay, let's jump right in. This idea Matthias presents early on, a flaw, a cosmic mistake at the heart of reality. But he clarifies, right, it's not that the entire universe is flawed from that big picture connected to everything view.
Exactly. From that higher perspective, everything fits. It's perfect. He says that the mistake isn't intrinsic to the void itself or that ultimate oneness. It actually stems from attempts by civilizations, both ancient and future.
Future too, wow.
Yeah, future too. Attempts to control or manipulate the very moment of origin, essentially trying to become God or control time itself.
And he talks about how they tried this through meditation or technology.
Wolf, apparently. Intense meditation or super advanced tech, maybe involving things like muons and quarks, he mentions. But here's the kicker. He says, you don't travel back in time.
Right, you go away from structure.
Exactly. Away from the structures of reality to the origin point, which exists kind of outside of time.
Okay, so what's the consequence then?
Well, he suggests it's huge. Every time consciousness, with that controlling intent, observes the origin, it disturbs things. It creates these ripples.
Ripples in time.
Ripples in time that traps us constantly, is how he puts it. Layers of consequences, mistakes. And it's a paradox, because finding the hidden code to fix it, which he says is everywhere, might mean you just dissolve back into the origin.
Wow. Okay, so bringing this down to earth for us, for the wanderers listening, what could this really abstract idea mean in our daily lives, these ripples, these mistakes?
Well, he suggests maybe every story, every atom is trying to correct these disturbances. So perhaps those times things feel off, or those patterns that just keep repeating. Maybe they're echoes of these deeper ripples, like the universe and us within it are constantly trying to self-correct, get back to the original blueprint.
It definitely makes you think about our own struggles with control, doesn't it? Trying to force things, resisting change.
Yeah.
Maybe they're tiny reflections of this bigger thing.
Could be like we're operating with some underlying code issues.
Yeah. And this leads right into his ideas about the void, which, let's be honest, most of us have a pretty negative reaction to, right?
Totally. Void equals nothing. Emptiness, something scary to be filled up. Our survival brain screens accumulate to feel safe, complete.
But he flips that completely.
Absolutely. He says this void isn't an absence. It's the fullest nothingness. It's the ground of being, pure potential. It holds everything without any conditions.
Like the guitar analogy he uses.
Exactly. The hole in the guitar isn't bad emptiness. It's the essential space that lets the sound expand, lets the music happen. Fill the hole, music stops.
And that statistic he throws out, the universe is bare 0.1% matter, the rest is void. What does that even mean?
Well, his point is that the 99.9% of void is actually what holds everything we see as solid. Connecting with it, he suggests, lets you be like in a galaxy and a glass of water at the same time.
Holding the structure of everything.
Yeah, total expansion, not loss. It's recognizing that pure potential is the basic reality.
So, for us, how could understanding the void differently help? Maybe release that fear, that constant need to fill up the inner emptiness with stuff.
External validation.
Busyness.
Emptiness.
He's essentially saying that what we fear as emptiness is actually the source of infinite potential. It's the space for our own expansion. Maybe that inner quiet isn't a problem, but an invitation, you know?
A very different narrative. Okay, this flows naturally into that fundamental question, who am I? He says this isn't just philosophy, it's key to repairing the system.
Right, and he breaks down I am uniquely. I is the essence, the core. Am is the pulse, the expression of that essence.
And we relate to it mostly through the ego.
Yeah, because ego is how consciousness easily grasps perception. Like, I only see what I perceive.
Which loops back to the mistake idea.
Yeah.
Every little distortion is framed as my perception of my own mistake.
Exactly. And asking, who am I, becomes a practice. It's about relocating the essence, bringing things we think are out there back into order within the core I. He even says plants and insects do this too in their own way, constantly finding their essence. Okay, let's talk more about the ego. He doesn't just say get rid of it, does he?
No, not really. He calls it a point of gravity that the essence relates to. He contrasts the idea of going to a cave to release the ego with having a healthy ego.
What's a healthy ego in his view?
It's one that isn't attached to physical things, not stuck in those gravity points. It's like playing a character in a play, but knowing you're the actor.
Ah, okay.
Suffering comes when you forget you're the actor and think the character is all you are. The ego's a tool for perception here, but we identify too strongly with it.
So for us wanderers, how can we use who am I practically? He suggests asking it all the time, right? Who am I in this meeting? Who am I feeling this anger?
Yeah, exactly. It shifts our view of identity. It's not fixed by our job or relationships, especially during change or loss. Who am I after this? It forces us to connect with the deeper I, the essence.
Letting the am, the expression, flow more freely.
Without the ego becoming a cage.
Yeah. Okay, this connects to another really powerful idea he talks about. Making death an exercise. Sounds pretty intense.
It does, but he means it in terms of embracing constant change. He shares a personal story about feeling this deep sadness, like he was destroying himself.
Right.
And realizing it was old parts of him dying off so something new could emerge.
Why is this important?
Because, he says, our attachment to life as it is makes us want to freeze everything. Making death an exercise means allowing that cycle. Create, destroy, be reborn, constantly.
We'll put water in a glass versus becoming a galaxy.
Exactly. Only in the void. By allowing endings can you be both.
Yeah.
You have to let go of the container.
And his advice for people whose loved ones have died, allow them to expand. Holding on keeps them stuck.
Yeah, energetically. Thinking stay with me creates contraction. He says it's a beautiful act to help them expand into all the dimensions available now.
And this applies to our own lives too, dying in life.
It means releasing that gravity from our center, letting go of expectations, old feelings, patterns, ideas, letting go of the weight.
So the energy can flow. Kundalini, light.
Right, so it can flow correctly. He contrasts fighting difficult emotions with just being in the sadness, say, until you move through it and see the map, the understanding it held.
So wanderers, what structures or ideas might we be holding on to? Where are we resisting that natural cycle? He's suggesting these resistances are where energy gets stuck.
Yeah, maybe leading to illness or just feeling stagnant. It reframes challenges not as problems, but as maps, showing us where energy is held up.
Which leads us right into his perspective on illness. Not just physical, but linked to energy flow. He mentions the Spanish word enfermedad, possibly meaning to be stopped.
Yeah, like creating a dam in a river. Energy, the water piles up, it gets stagnant, even rotten, he says. The very energy that gives life, when blocked, causes disease.
He also uses that analogy with light, gravity, and chakras.
Right. Light travels fast in space, but gets trapped by Earth's gravity and particles, creating colors.
Okay.
He applies that to the body. Chakras are like energy centers, planets. Light or life force moves through them. If a chakra gets heavy.
Heavy with attachments, emotions, fears.
Exactly. Energetic weighted, traps more light. And that trapped light gets chaotic, causes issues. Like trapped photons causing radiation burn, he suggests.
So trapped light means less flows through the system. The rainbow gets distorted, stuck maybe in one color, like root chakra weight, trapping red light, leading to anger.
That's the idea. It's an energetic view suggesting we look at where we might be creating dams with our own stuff, our unresolved issues, our resistance,
Yeah.
illness as feedback.
Okay, if illness is stuck energy, how do we heal? Get it moving again. He has that 3-step approach.
Yeah. Focused on relocating energy and understanding the why. Step 1 is forgiveness.
But defined in a specific way.
Very specific. To give away what isn't yours. It's not about the other person, really. It's releasing the energetic weight you picked up from outside. You got to clear that external stuff first, he says.
Clear the decks. Okay, then step 2.
Mapping the pattern. Self-analysis. Why did I accept that way? Why do I repeat this cycle? It's looking at the emotional or energetic disease before it got physical. Asking, where have I felt this pattern before?
Understanding the root cause. And step 3.
The future intention. Asking, where am I heading? He uses that analogy of standing. Health is being centered, knowing where to put your heel next. If you're stuck in shock about the illness or focused only on the past, you're not moving.
So healing is about moving forward with purpose.
Exactly. Relocating your energy toward where you intend to go. It's not just fixing the symptom, but understanding why you got stuck and choosing your next direction. It involves emotional mastery, using energy and motion correctly.
Fascinating. So for us wanderers facing challenges, these steps seem like a powerful guide. Forgiveness, mapping, intention. Which step feels most relevant or maybe hardest for you right now?
It's a great framework for self-reflection, definitely.
Let's circle back to death for a moment. What does Matias say happens to the energy after someone dies?
He sees it as expansion. Their energy expands into different dimensions all at once. Part goes to the 4th and 5th dimensions life review information levels.
And part stays in the 3rd.
Yeah, spans back into nature, becomes part of insects, birds, roots, flowers, even honey, he says. Reintegrates.
And again, the importance of allowing that expansion, holding on, causes contraction, gets them stuck.
Right. Accompanying them means letting them go fully, allowing their energy to expand everywhere it can. It's a beautiful way to think about it.
He also mentioned burial versus cremation. Burial making it harder for the energy to return to nature.
Potentially, yeah.
Oh.
Coffins can hinder that 3D reintegration. He links it to old beliefs about needing the body for reincarnation. Burning, fire, allows a freer return. But he does mention a process, like maybe 7 days, for the energy to fully detach before cremation.
Interesting. How does this perspective change how we think about grief, wanderers? Allowing expansion feels active, supportive.
It does. It connects to our own practice of letting go. Releasing attachment allows their energy to continue its natural journey.
Okay, finally, spiritual awakening. Matias says, it's not what it looks like, right? Not the sales pitch.
Yeah. He offers a literal translation. Spirituality is simply the ability to breathe. Connecting means remembering how to really breathe, letting the art of breath express itself. It's about presence, not postures.
And the analogy he uses, awakening is like being born.
Yeah, and often traumatic in that sense. Moving from a known, contained reality to something vast, unfiltered. New breathing, new light, new sensations. Seeing reality raw.
Whoa.
So his point is, awakening isn't some static peace state you arrive at. It's a constant process of adaptation, going layer after layer, realizing you need to adapt again.
It's dynamic, maybe uncomfortable.
Definitely. It's integrating expanded awareness into your physical life, which takes constant adjustment. It's not just sitting feeling blissful.
That really resonates. For us wanderers on the path, are we allowing that discomfort, that ongoing adaptation he talks about? It's not always easy.
It shifts the goal, doesn't it?
Yeah.
From achieving a state to embracing a continuous journey of adaptation and integration.
Wow, okay. We've covered a lot today. A real deep dive into Matias De Stefano's ideas from that source material, from that cosmic mistake idea and the void.
To asking, who am I? Letting go, illness as energy, the steps to healing.
And these unique views on death and spiritual awakening as constant adaptation.
It really offers a different lens, doesn't it? A different way for you, the wanderer, to look at your own life, your challenges, your journey towards presence. Practical ideas, hopefully.
Definitely. And he leaves us with this really provocative thought to chew on, this idea that we're in Earth School.
Right, here to learn and experience.
Maybe we skipped the syllabus on day 1.
Yeah, like we missed orientation. So if we don't have that standard instruction manual everyone else seems to have, what does that mean for our purpose?
How do we figure out what we're doing here? How do we navigate the school if we miss the intro?
That's the question, isn't it?
We'll have to leave you mulling that over for now, wanderers. If the standard syllabus feels missing for you, Where do you look for instructions? What might it mean for your unique path here?
Let that question sit with you. See what comes up as you reflect on everything we've explored today.